And hello again, YouTube. Oh yeah, I'm oversharing big time today. It is still Sunday, October 2nd, 2022. Still marveling at the evidence of the fire that happened in the bulk trash and took out part of my neighbor's fence. Not cool. 3:13 p.m. Oh yes, I'm on trip number 3 out of my apartment. And no, I'm not headed to work yet. I still got my flip-flops and my shorts on. Considered it, but I'm actually being pretty productive at cleaning and doing other little projects around the apartment today. Not trying to replicate last Sunday's videos though, because A, they didn't get too much view, and I gotta be honest, a little put off by some of the flack I got in the comments on it. Yeah, the place is a mess. It's disgusting. I mean, I'm just trying to, share my progress, but I'm also trying to get things done, in other areas of my life as well. So yeah, the progress is slow. And, I mean, granted, I could have done some work on it yesterday. Some days I just deal with crippling depression. So, today's my one day that I'm up and feeling motivated and trying to be positive with it. Anyway, this run out, heading back up to Fry's grocery store. Yeah, not much of a run here. But it occurred to me that the cat box is absolutely disgusting, and I have no kitty litter, so going to get kitty litter. And as I mentioned, I think in my last video, I've got that artesian cinnamon bread, which is absolutely delicious. It's great for toast, but I should, get some apple butter or some jelly or something that would go good with it for sandwiches. So it's really the only sandwich stuff I have right now is ham and cheese. And I feel like I need some mayo too. Although I could just grab some mayo packets from work, save a couple bucks. Hey, there's a plan. I think I'm gonna go that route. For as poorly as Amazon pays me, you know what? If they can kick me down some mayonnaise packets and some Cholula packets. Some Cholula packets the last day I was there, which wasn't really about taking hot sauce packets for work. It was about last Taco Tuesday when I got my tacos in kit form, which was basically the snack size soft tacos, but with the lettuce in a container on the side, which works great, by the way. That was quite excellent. It's the second time I've done that. And last time I could have sworn I asked for soft tacos. I got hard shell tacos. They got the soft tacos right this time, but they asked if I wanted sauce, and I'm very positive. In fact, I'm 100% sure that I said Del Scorcho, because I just watched that video while like yesterday, the day before, when I uploaded it. And I did that run through Del Taco while vlogging, and I very clearly heard myself ask for Del Scorcho, and those bastards gave me Del Inferno. Not nice. Del Scorcho's got a nice flavor to it. Del Inferno, on the other hand, is just all heat, all spice with no flavor. So I don't know if that was an honest mistake or if they were just trying to get revenge on me for asking for my lettuce in a cup on the side. Whatever the situation was, that sauce just all went directly in the garbage. Well, I did try one packet on one taco just to see, hey, is this as bad as I remember? And oh yes, it most certainly was. The rest went directly in the garbage. The rest just went directly in the garbage, and yeah. Oh good, I get a little bit of shaded parking here. Nice. Hopefully my car won't get too brutally hot while I run into Fry's and get kitty litter and peanut butter and a couple of other necessary staples. I expect at this point any peanut butter that's left in my cupboard is just too old for consumption. I used to think peanut butter was one of those things that kind of lasted forever, but it's come to my attention that there comes a point where it just sits in the cupboard too long, and the oil that's in it turns, and it just becomes disgusting. And yeah, I just think most everything's in my cupboards at this point should just be tossed. Great clips. Hiring stylists. Yeah, it's not a skill I have. But we still got Papa John's Pizza. Now hiring drivers up to $18, $22 per hour. Stand here to apply today. Might have to do that on the way back to the car. Just trying to think of what I can do to pump up my income without completely sacrificing my lifestyle and my me time. So as I mentioned earlier today, I had about a 2-hour conversation with Ronnie on the phone yesterday, and I didn't even let on to her that I'd spent the whole day in bed depressed and lonely. But anyway, I had a pretty good conversation with her, and we were talking about this one guy at work that kind of came in, like her and I were kind of having a conversation at the table, and he just kind of came in and sort of took over, and you know, she seemed interested in talking with him, so I just kind of quietly exited the conversation and sat there and dinked around on my smartphones, kind of waiting for him to leave. But he didn't take off until her Uber showed up, and she just disappeared in her Uber. Didn't even say goodbye to me, which kind of was like, well, whatever. But anyway, she was talking to me about him. What he was showing is like, oh, this is what I do with all my spare time. I'm all about the money. And then he shows his A to Z app, showing that he has not had a single day off in over 6 weeks. Now, granted, when you work the graveyard shift like we do, which is very much worth it. One thing I really didn't fully understand until that presentation about the raises and the wage structure and whatnot, that was made very clear. Like, I kind of thought it was a thing, but I didn't understand it. Like, I don't get pay stubs. Like, I know there's a digital pay stub somewhere in the app or the website or something, but I've never figured out how to view it. But I do know that those two definitely homeless. I don't know, and this guy too. I don't know how to do it, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, and I think if I was to actually try to search out one of those pay stubs, I'd get a better breakdown of what my pay is. But I did feel like really, really disillusioned. I know when I came in to working with Amazon last January, like my paychecks were considerably bigger than they are now. And apparently there was like a pay differential, so it was like a bonus on top of whatever my hourly wage is. Yeah, pay at Amazon is complicated. It's not just your hourly wage minus taxes. It'd be a lot nicer if it was, or a lot easier to understand if it was. Let me rephrase that. Balls. Yeah, it's not like that at all. So you've got your hourly base wage, which I was really disappointed when I found out how small it was, because I thought it was considerably higher. And I think my confusion on that came from that I was hired through, as I've said many times, I was hired through a recruiting website. I forget which one, but I think it was jobhat.com, or maybe indeed.com, or maybe, I don't know, there's so many of those websites, and I was on like freaking all of them or maybe not all of them, but I was certainly on a lot of them, you know, about the time I got the job with Amazon. And it didn't really show the breakdown the way Amazon does, of like, this is your base wage, and this is your night shift differential, and this is your working through COVID differential, which I guess is what was in effect when I started. It just showed that this is the hourly wage and signing bonus. And I guess the hourly wage included those two differentials for the shift that I went on. And so we're looking at my base wage. I'm just like, God, 15. Really, I got hired on at $15.50 an hour, and after 6 months, I get a raise of 25 cents. Wow, that's awful. So there is an 85-cent differential for night. So add 85 cents to that $15.75, and that's what my hourly wage is while I work night shift.
That still seems weird to see people in masks. The brainwashing is strong with some people. Good to see Ross is still in business. Anyway, so there's that. Anyway, I was trying to talk about the guy that kind of butted into my conversation. I don't know his name. I mean, I always say hi to him when I see him in the warehouse. He's a friendly guy, but it's not somebody I've really had extended conversations with. But it's easy for like, you look at mine, and granted I work 4 shifts a week, but if you look at my A to Z for my 4 shifts a week, it'll show that I work 5 days, because every shift encompasses 2 days. I clock in on one calendar day. I clock, my shift ends on the following calendar days. So, presumably this guy's taking a day off technically, but his schedule on A to Z showed no days off, because basically what he's doing is working 6 shifts a week, which I've heard is the maximum you can take. Amazon strongly frowns upon people working more than 60 hours a week, but generally speaking, Amazon, it's 10-hour shifts, so 6 days a week is 60 hours a week. But it's going to look like, if you're working night shift to get that 85-cent differential, it's going to look like you work 7 days a week, because because of one day that's gonna just be hours, from midnight to 5:30 a.m. and of course the following day is gonna be hours of just 7 p.m. until midnight. Anyway, when he showed that, and I'm just like, dude. Anyway, I kind of checked out of the conversation not too long after that, because I don't know, maybe it's just me being paranoid, but it just kind of felt like he was interested in talking to Ronnie and not interested in talking to me. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if that was really what was going on, or if that was just my own insecurities in my head. I'm not really sure. But at any rate, I did kind of check out of the conversation after just being kind of bewildered that he was working that much and making a couple of comments. And it seemed like the things that Ronnie was saying to him, he was responding to, and the things that I was saying to him, he was either ignoring or just kind of grunting at it. So it's like, okay, I think I get what's going on here. That's fine. Ronnie is young and cute and black, and he's clearly single and black. So I'm probably he's assuming that whatever assumptions are happening. I'm just gonna look at my phones. I'm gonna see how many comments and views my blog has these days. So yeah. Anyway, Ronnie was telling me about the rest of the conversation, and basically he was going off about some pretty common, black belt Mitgow type points of just no women are interested in dating him, no women are worth dating, blah 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 blah, problems with women, and she said that he kind of, when she was just like, really, all women? I don't think so. And then she said that he walked it back to women in their 20s and 30s, which he's probably not wrong. At least he's not 100% wrong with everybody. All right, that's going to be a Filiberto's over there. Nice. It used to be a Mexican food place. I can't remember what the hell it was called, but I went there once with Elise, and the food was absolutely awful. And yeah, there is way too much good Mexican food, even from cheap places like Filiberto's, for a place that has mediocre Mexican food to have a chance at getting by. And I find it interesting, there's a Filiberto's opening right there when you've got a taco shop directly across the street. There's a Mascadores taco shop. I always wonder if the taco shops that keep opening in this location are legit, or if they're a front. There's been, I feel like in the time I've lived in this neighborhood that 5 or 6 taco shops have come and gone in this location. They keep opening up one and closing up one, and a while later another one opens up. I haven't been here this incarnation. There was one that just specialized in like fish tacos, and that place was a little pricey, but holy crap, it was good. Got a liquor license here. That's cool. I'm wasting time, aren't I? I'm supposed to be going inside to get me some kitty litter. I always get so distracted talking to myself. Anyway, she was telling me about how he was going on about, oh, by the way, this is where my urgent care has relocated to. I had both appointments where they basically gave me antibiotics and painkillers and told me I need to go see a dentist. Masks still required. Yeah, that's the one place I'm actually kind of comfortable with still enforcing a mask mandate. But some people I see just walking around with masks, it just seems super weird, especially when they're getting out of a car that they're alone in. But, you know, people are going to do what they're going to do. That's fine. Kind of makes me want to wander around with a V for Vendetta mask on my face, but the one that I ordered never did arrive. And I never did put a timely eBay complaint in on that. On that note, one of the two sellers that I did not ship stuff to, both of which I think are Laserdiscs, has filed a complaint against me. I need to get proactive about that. If nothing else, I just need to cancel the damn sale so I can kind of save my status as a seller. At this point, the money I'm getting off eBay is not even worth the time it takes to try to keep it going with all the other applications I have. But I don't want to throw that account away because it's just so long running and has overall such good feedback on it. Anyway, Ronnie was just telling me how he was kind of going off about that stuff, and she's just like, yeah, I don't want to date somebody with an attitude like that. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, my attitude is probably more black pill than his, but whatever. But anyway, anything else I wanted to talk about since I'm back out and wandering around with my phone recording? Good to see the shoe place is still here. No, not sure what to say about that other than maybe another spigot that shouldn't be available. Gosh, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, wasn't able to get my computer up and running. I got like 4, and I remember I was working on that a while back, and I mean by a while back I mean maybe late last year or early this year. And I do recall, it's so long ago I don't remember the details, but I do recall I was having some issues with I was having some issues with the DVI cable on my monitor at Bullocks. I do remember I was having some issues with that, and yeah, security not doing the job here today. I do remember I was having some issues with that, and then I do remember having a curious issue where I had a DVI cable that would display my boot screen just fine. You know, when my computer boots up and it has the little Dell logo that pops up, and then it says you see it kind of loading. You know, it run through its auto detect pretty quickly before it pops up the loading window screen, and the loading window screen will be on there. But then when it's supposed to go to the Windows login screen, it suddenly goes black, and it'll act like it's like if I hit the input select, it'll act like it's not getting a signal, and it'll even go as far as to cancel that signal, or it'll say, you know, signal not present, going into power save mode or something like that. I'm not 100% sure like how and why that's happening. It seems weird that it'll work, you know, obviously these monitors work because we got 2 different monitors that are, and I brought some other ones out of storage, 2 other ones that apparently don't work at all, but one of them just doesn't power up at all, and the other one I can kind of tell it's powering up, but I don't know. It's giving me other issues, but 2 that seem to work just fine, and I can see the boot screen on the computer, but then I can't see the Windows login screen. Now I do understand that DVI is kind of an odd duck sort of hybrid video. There's a security guard. Apparently he went right by the guy that's loitering there. Wonder if he's going to give me flack for running camera through here. He just looked at me funny and kept on driving. Good. Keep on doing that. This is private property. He is well within his rights to tell me that I can't film here and I need to get on the sidewalk. But I think he's got bigger fish to fry, like that homeless guy over by the spigot there, between the fries and the shoe place. Anyhow, whoa, Saturday all day happy hour, $3 margaritas. Nice. Try to remember that come next Saturday. I could go for some afternoon $3 margaritas at the taco place down the street. I could walk there and stumble home. That would be a nice Saturday afternoon. All right, where the heck was I? Subway. Subway is so pricey at this point. I've pretty much eliminated them from my diet. Yeah, the food hasn't really got any better, but the prices have sure gone through the roof. Not that I dislike Subway food, but $12 for a tuna footlong is just, when it used to be a $5 footlong. Like, I understand, like, food inflation has gone up, but when it's over, when your menu, your national fast food menu has gone up on some sandwiches over 100%, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. There were a lot of people that felt Subway was too pricey before, so it amazes me they have any customers at all now. Yeah, a lot of people here on the sidewalk. I wonder what's up with that. Anyway, so back to my DVI cables. So DVI, I do understand DVI is kind of a hybrid video standard in that it has analog and digital video incorporated into it. And it's my understanding that when it handles the analog video, it does it pretty much the same way a VGA cable would, and that when it does digital, it's basically doing the same thing that an HDMI cable does without the handshake and without the actually I think the handshake is present, because it seems like I've occasionally used DVI for video and had Windows tell me what the monitor was. So I guess there is the handshake. That's the biggest difference between DVI and HDMI from the digital video standpoint, is that DVI doesn't carry any audio, no provisions for audio on it. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, and this is just a theory, I have no way to test this, I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, when I'm seeing the computer boot up and I'm seeing the Dell splash screen, I'm seeing my BIOS screen, that's actually the VGA style analog video, and then once it switches to digital, that the port I'm using is possibly shorted out and not getting it. So obviously the solution is I need to get some more DVI cables. I rummaged through a handful of boxes in my place, could not find any DVI cables. That's excessively noisy. Yeah, could not find any DVI cables, so I've pretty much given up on that for today. I think sometime this week, hopefully tomorrow. No, probably not tomorrow morning, because I'm going to be so tired by the time I roll out of Amazon this tomorrow morning. But oh, nice, somebody on an electric scooter. I don't recognize the model, but it's always nice to see somebody running an electric scooter. And I don't blame them in the slightest for using the sidewalk, because obviously riding on Thomas Road would be completely unsafe. Even if they did put a painted bicycle gutter on Thomas Road, I still would consider that completely unsafe. And right along this section of Thomas, there's really not a lot of alternate routes that he could use. I mean, Earl goes through to the north, but yeah, there's absolutely nothing that cuts east and west between here and Oak Street. So anyway, not able to boot my computer. I'm thinking, probably on Tuesday I need to take a trip down to Ghettotronics and probably make a day out of that. Head to Ghettotronics. Also happen to swing by the clerk of court's office to get Phoenix's response to the homeless lawsuit regarding them neglecting the zone and the homeless encampments around the zone. Yeah, I need to get me some DVI cables and probably get about 4 or 5 of them. Because I don't know. I do recall when I was having this issue before, trying to get a good working monitor at Bullocks, and I didn't follow through and make sure that I had a good working monitor at home, because at that point Priscilla had so much crap in the living room I couldn't really. Most of the time I didn't have room to set up in my apartment, but yeah, I do remember having some issues with even some cables that were brand new from them not working on my setup, and then some working and some not working. So they usually charge me $1 a piece for them down there, so I was gonna grab 5, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I certainly wasted more time on this recording than I meant to, but I need to go inside, give me some kitty litter, some peanut butter.